My position statement is texting while driving should be banned in Troy, Alabama. Did you know that the risk of text messaging driver having an accident is 23.2 times as high as a non-distracted driver? This is according to the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute, who has studied distracted driving extensively. Texting while driving has become a national problem. According to the Pew Research Center, approximately 34% of teens aged 16 to 17 admit to have texted while driving. And that number is probably low since some teens would not have admitted to doing it. And it's not just teens that are texting. Nearly half of all texting adults say they have sent or read a text while driving. Now you may ask why this should matter to you. This matters because we all drive the highways of Alabama and are at risk of having an accident with a driver who is distracted by a text message. I'll admit it. I like sending text messages and have, in the past, done so while driving. However, I realize I have been lucky. My actions have not led to any accidents, but I might not be so lucky next time. This speech will outline the reasons why Troy, Alabama should implement a ban on texting while driving. Before we can agree on a solution to this problem, we first have to agree whether texting while driving is a problem. First, who is texting while driving, and does this constitute a problem? Let's look at some statistics. Every day in 2008, over 800,000 people were texting, making calls, or using a handheld cell phone while driving in the United States. Distracted driving killed nearly 6,000 Americans in the same year. This is according to the National Highway Safety Administration. Almost 50% of all drivers between the age of 18 and 24 are texting while driving, and teens say that texting is their number one driver distraction. Pew Research Center reports that 47% of adults who use text messaging say they have sent or read messages while behind the wheel. I think you can see that teens and adults are texting while driving. But is this really a problem? The Virginia Tech Transportation Institute conducted eye-glance analysis to assess where drivers were looking while involved in a safety-critical event and performing cell phone tasks such as texting. VTTI's research showed that text messaging has the longest duration of eyes-off road time. This equates to a driver traveling the length of a football field at 55 miles per hour without looking at the roadway. According to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, drivers who use handheld devices are 4 times as likely to get into crashes serious enough to injure themselves. Studies show that a person who is texting while driving at the speed of 35 miles an hour will cover 24 feet before bringing the car to a complete halt, as compared to a distance of 4 feet which a drunk driver would cover at the same speed. Around 28% of all crashes in 2008 were caused by drivers in the age group of 18 to 29 who admitted to texting while driving. These studies bear out that distracted driving caused by text messaging is a problem that state and local governments are facing. The problem of texting while driving crosses generations. In a survey conducted by Pew Research Center, teens report that their parents are not setting a good example in regarding to texting. Many teens relayed accounts of their parents or other adult relatives texting and talking while driving. While some were concerned about this, others felt that their parents were good drivers who could manage their phones safely. We cannot rely on parents teaching their children about the dangers of texting while driving. Something has to be done. The logical place to begin is with making texting while driving illegal in the state of Alabama and setting consequences for breaking the law. According to the website distraction.gov, 31 states in the United States have enacted texting bans. Some states ban cell phone use in school zones or construction sites, while others place restriction on novice drivers and school bus drivers. The Distracted Driver Prevention Act, introduced last fall by Senator Jay Rockefeller, would provide incentive grants to states that ban texting and handheld phone use for all drivers and would require a complete ban on cell phone use by drivers under the age of 18, according to the Pew Research Center. Currently, Alabama does not have a state law banning texting while driving. A ban on texting was introduced into the state law banning texting while driving. One of the latest states to enact a texting while driving ban is the neighboring state of Georgia. Governor Sonny Perdue signed 2 distracted driving bills into law in June 2010. Senate Bill 360 prohibits individuals from using wireless telecommunication devices for writing, sending, or receiving text messages while operating a motor vehicle. The fine for offenders will be $150 and 1 point on their driver's license. House Bill 23 was also signed into law and prohibits drivers under the age of 18 from using a wireless communication device. Like the other new driving law, the fine for offenders will be $150 and 1 point on their driver's license. The new law goes into effect on July 1, 2010. Even though there is no Alabama state law banning texting while driving, several cities have enacted bans. These include Birmingham, Gadsden, Vestavia Hills, and Jacksonville. Other cities such as Montgomery and Florence are considering it. The City of Troy must make a texting while driving ban a priority of their municipal agenda. While laws will help to limit texting while driving, drivers need to be aware of the dangers of their actions. Public service announcements and video clips will help bring the dangers of texting to light. Each driver must take responsibility for their actions when they are behind the wheel of their car. Adults must lead the way in setting examples for the younger drivers. Okay, we agree that texting while driving is a problem, but what can we do about it? All of this information is useless without actions designed to make a change in state and local laws. First, contact your state lawmakers to show them the statistics on texting while driving and encourage them to introduce legislation banning texting while driving. Contact them once, then again, and again. You must be persistent if you want things to change. On the local level, contact your city council members and county commissioners. Talk to them about the dangers of texting while driving and ask for their support. Begin a petition and gather signatures of others who are in agreement with you. Ask to be placed on the agenda for the city council meeting and present the petition that represents the supporters of the ban. Once again, you must be persistent. While you're doing all of this, write letters to the editor of your local paper. This will draw attention to your cause and inform people about the problem that texting while driving poses to all people who drive automobiles in the Troy area. I think you would agree that texting while driving is a problem that faces all of us, and the city of Troy, as well as the state of Alabama, should implement a ban on texting while driving. A driver distracted by texting is 4 times as likely to get into crashes serious enough to injure themselves. Texting requires a driver to look away from the road for an extended amount of time. I hope I'm not meeting that driver on a 2-lane highway when their attention is focused on their phone. I challenge you to get involved. Contact your state legislators and push for them to introduce a law banning texting while driving. Contact your municipal representatives asking for a ban on texting. Start a petition and gather signatures of others who also support a ban on texting. Finally, while you are doing all of this, keep the issue of texting while driving and the dangers involved with it in the news by writing letters to the editor of the local newspaper. Most of the time, it only takes one person to make a difference. Be that person.